although he's only had 4 weeks' notice for this fight, he's always maintained a good level of fitness as John. Great support in Alfreton, but not too many could make it over here to Pesaro due to the cost of scheduled air flights. Mike Shinfield in this corner there. On the right, bending over the ropes, well known in Britain as an MC. MC'd many world title fights in his time. Ian Alcock, his new trainer, in the blue trousers. But now we're looking at Kalambay. As I say, the only man so far to have beaten Mike McCallum. Turned in a very impressive performance that night. Cast your mind back, Sumbu Kalambay outpointed Iran Barkley over 15 rounds for the vacant WBA title back in 1987 in Livorno. And then did the unthinkable by beating McCallum in his first defence. He then went on to knock out Doug DeWitt in 7. And then, of course, came the 88-second loss to Mike Nunn. And funnily enough, he was actually stripped of the WBA title for taking an IBF title fight with Nunn, but then allowed, ironically enough, to fight McCallum again for the WBA version. And that's the time, as I say, back in April of this year, that McCallum reversed that loss. 12 3-minute rounds this one's scheduled for. As I say, a lot of opinion doesn't give John Ashton much of a chance of going past halfway. But they do hope that Sumbu Kalambay will have taken John Ashton a bit lightly and consequently not be 100%. And strangely enough, there have been to date 4 different challenges for this championship that have, for one reason or another, withdrawn. Michael Watson withdrew from this match to fight Chris Eubank for the WBO title. And that proved to be a costly mistake. Steve Collins, Irish Steve Collins, based in Boston. He lost on points to Mike McCallum. He also turned down the chance of fighting Kalambay. Harold Graham has got other things on his mind, namely that British title defence against John Ashton on the 1st of October. And didn't really feel that 4 weeks was enough time to prepare for this match, so he also pulled out. And the former European champion, Francesco Dell'Aquila, a former victim of Kalambay's, also declined. So that left John Ashton in the frame. And strangely enough, he was actually vetoed as an opponent for Michael Watson's Commonwealth title, I believe on the grounds that it wouldn't have been a fair match. That was by the Boxing Board of Control, and one wonders, in fact, how he's got this chance against a highly rated fighter like Kalambay for the European title if he wasn't considered good enough to fight Watson for the Commonwealth. But politics aside, let's just hope that this John Ashton does acquit himself well here tonight. Of course, Brendan England and Sheffield will be watching this very closely and hoping that John Ashton does come through and brings that European title back to England and puts it on the line against his man, Harold Graham. Harold Graham, of course, lost on points to Sumbu Kalambay. That was 4 years ago now, seems like yesterday. First round then, here we go. Referee ensuring they touch gloves beforehand. Very slippery customer, Kalambay. Very cute, quick hands and feet. Ashton's last fight was an overwhelming points victory over Tony Burke from Croydon in his hometown of Alfreton. Nice right to the body there from John Ashton. Oh, and a good right, and he's got Kalambay on the floor here in the first round. Goodness me, you would never have believed that could have happened. A chopping right over the top. Kalambay on the deck in the first. Well, he might have taken John Ashton lightly. I wonder if Ashton can follow that one up and get this man out of the way. What a start for John Ashton. And he follows that up with a good left hook to the head.
problem is there is an Italian guy talking.
What a start for John Ashton. A looping right hand, smack on the chin, Kalambay on the floor, took a standing 8 count. So that's going to unsettle Kalambay. He may just feel now that he has to go in. A good right again there from Ashton. Kalambay may feel he'll have to go in now and try and get rid of John Ashton. And this is John Ashton's big chance. He's on the world stage here tonight. We're live in Pesaro on the Adriatic coast in Italy, about 90 miles south of Venice. What a start for John Ashton. I'd love to see him do well. I'm not sure if that's John's wife. No, that's Kalambay's wife. I don't believe John Ashton's girlfriend's here tonight. He's due to marry her next year. Her name's Sue. What a cracking start this for Ashton. As I said before, John Ashton not renowned as a puncher. Now Kalambay walking forward, but John Ashton used his feet nicely. Nice cluster of shots there again from Ashton. It's a good round for John. Exactly the start he needs. So there we go, the end of the opening round, and I'll give that one to John Ashton.
10, 9,
What a start for the man from Alfreton.
6,
We'll be right back after this short break.
3.
Then round 2 of this European Middleweight Championship. The champion Sumbu Kalambay on the floor in the first round from a cracking right hand from John Ashton. Ashton took the first round, outboxed the champion. I wonder how he will feel if this fight goes into the later rounds with the heat in this stadium. The weather on the continent and in Italy has been marvellous. And John Ashton must be walking on air at the moment. Cracking punch. And ironically, when Bomber Graham fought Sumbu Kalambay, for the first time in his life, he changed his tactics and came out second best. Had it been, well, a right there tags Ashton to the chin. Had it been the normal Bomber Graham that fought Kalambay, I'm sure he would have beaten him. Harold Graham, of course, will be a very interested spectator here tonight. Well, not here, obviously, but watching on Eurosport. Kalambay still rumbling forward, trying to take John Ashton out of his stride. And again, that right hand over the top from Ashton, but took a couple of body shots. Ashton needs to try and catch him with another right hand over the top as he rumbles forward. Better round so far for Kalambay. Ashton didn't put a foot wrong in the first. And again, that right hand does catch Kalambay on the head. Kalambay works in the body punches. Ashton 3/4 of an inch above 6 foot. 2.5 inches taller than Kalambay. Needs to try and use that minimal advantage in reach and height. Not easily done, though, with a man like Kalambay in front of you, all that experience behind him. Rumbling forward. Last 30 seconds of round 2. And this really a huge leap in class for John Ashton. Oh, a nice right uppercut. It turned in there from Ashton. Tried another one. And he's knocked Kalambay's gum shield out with that one. And there's the bell to end the second. Well, a good round there. Really not too much in that one, I don't think. Although Kalambay possibly going forward has nicked it. Took a good uppercut from Ashton in the last 10 seconds. And Kalambay nicked there on the left eye, if you can see, or is it not? In fact, he's cut over the right eye. So this now looking good for John Ashton. But Sumbu Kalambay, dangerous when he's in trouble, and he's in bother now. On the floor in the first round, bad cut above the right eyebrow. I haven't seen the clash of heads. This doesn't look good for Kalambay. But we are in Italy. He's a naturalised Italian. Ashton's going to have to nail him to the floor to win this. The slightest infringement by John Ashton can see him get thrown out here. Kalambay on borrowed time, I think. That cut's in a bad place. 35 years of age now, Sumbu Kalambay. The skin doesn't hold out as well as it used to. Neither do the legs. Ashton 5 years younger. And he knows that Kalambay's not getting any better. And his time may have come. But to beat a man of Kalambay's stature, even if he was 45 years of age, for John Ashton, would be a real feat. There we are, the referee immediately picking on John Ashton. Good body shot there from Kalambay. And John Ashton, clearly the best fighter that Mike Shinfield has ever handled. Before that, Ashton was managed by Billy Shinfield, Mike's father. And John Ashton just wants to think about his work. Well, referee, they're warning Kalambay to keep his head up, but also telling Ashton not to lean down on the back of his neck. Double jab from Kalambay. Well, nice defensive move there from Ashton. He's got a target now. He's got that nasty cut above Kalambay's right eye to aim for. The blood tracking into the eye. The blood there smearing Ashton's shoulder. Well, Ashton's normally the man who suffers the facial damage, but well, he gets another ticking off from the referee. Not an awful lot so far in this third round. Kalambay looks as if he's being effective, but he's actually plodding forward and doing nothing. Ashton picking him off at long range. Once again, Ashton picks up a warning. End of round 3. And I'm going to give that round to John Ashton. I thought those small but well-delivered punches of his probably just nicked it for him. And I'll just run through a few British winners of this European Championship since 1911. The first being the great Ted Kid Lewis, followed by Tommy Milligan, Randolph Turpin, John McCormack, Bunny Sterling, Alan Minter, Kevin Finnegan, Tony Simpson, and the last holder, of course, Harold Graham, back in 1987. a former holder of the championship, is with us here tonight as well, ringside. That blood looking very bad now on Kalambay's face. Put a huge dollop of grease, laden, I dare say, with adrenaline in the cut to try and stem the bleeding. I was about to say the former European middleweight champion Nino Benvenuti is here as well, working for Italian television. Kalambay has got problems. He's got a fired-up John Ashton in front of him. Nice ride again over the top there from Ashton. They've watched videos of Kalambay, two in particular, the Harold Graham fight and the latest Mike McCallum. So they know what Kalambay's made of. Kalambay yet to get through with anything meaningful so far here in round 4. Ashton boxing well, but Derek, well, once again, the referee warns him. And I can't see why. Then again, I'm not Italian. And I do believe that John Ashton had some plastic surgery on those fragile eyebrows of his. And they seem to have done a good job. He hasn't cut in his last 5 fights. Well, that's the first bit of success that Kalambay's had so far in this 4th round. John Ashton using the ring, but takes up a couple of body punches there. Ashton needs to try and keep on the ring perimeter with trying to avoid, oh goodness me, a public warning for John Ashton. Can you believe it? For what? For what, I ask you? Which means that will cost him a point. Kalambay has stopped. Oh goodness me, a good shot to the body there. Ashton on the deck. Round 4. Looking at his corner, Mike Shenfield tells him to stay there till 8. He's up at 8, he's okay. Kalambay needs to try and press home his advantage, but John Ashton looks fully recovered now. Well, up until that point, John Ashton was just niggling away with his long punches, but now Kalambay feeling good about himself, but a nice rally there from Ashton. And that public warning, of course, will have cost Ashton a point, and therefore the round. What a shame for him. Both on the floor. We'll take a short break and be right back. Welcome back then, round 5 of this European Middleweight Championship. The holder, Sumbu Kalambay, against John Ashton from Alfreton. Ashton had Kalambay on the floor in the opening round with a cracking right hand. Took a count from a left to the body in round 4. I've got them all square with 4 rounds gone. Kalambay also has received a bad cut above his right eye. In fact, just above the eyebrow. And I think Kalambay must have thought he was out for an easy night tonight. Ashton there complaining about Kalambay's head. Referee tells him to shut up. Kalambay looking the stronger of the two. I'd love to see John Ashton pull out another right hand like the one in the first round. Once again, they clash heads. I don't think that cut was caused by a clash of heads. And Kalambay will be looking to get John Ashton's body. Dropped him in the last round with a left hook to the body. John needs to try and keep his elbows in, keep tight. We're in Pesaro in Italy on the Adriatic coast. This really a hometown venue for Sumbu Kalambay, the former WBA champion. Nice shot there from Kalambay, short left, followed by a right uppercut. Very experienced fighter. 3 times as many fights as Ashton. Whoops, and the slip there from Ashton. But Kalambay caught him with a short right to the body as he went over. Well, this is a good round so far for Sumbu Kalambay, the defending champion. Right to the head. Ashton in trouble there. Well, I don't quite know what's happening here. Oh, good. Well, looks like John Ashton's left eye is closing. I think he's calling for the doctor. Well, looks like he's picked up a cut as well. What a terrible shame for John Ashton. Yes, that left eye almost totally closed now. Looks like this one could be over. No, it's not. I'm glad the referee's allowed them to continue. There's the bell to end the round. Kalambay's round on my card. I've got him 1 up now with 5 gone. And John Ashton, badly swollen around the left eye and cut. Well, we can't actually exactly see it from here. Mike Shinfield there working on it. Ian Alcock wearing the spectacles. Well, there's a nice right there. That's probably the punch that did the damage. It wobbled John Ashton. So round 6 coming up, this scheduled for 12. Here we go. Kalambay's been rumbling forward ever since round 2, trying to pay back John Ashton for that first round knockdown. Well, if nothing else, he can go down in history as the man who decked, the man who beat Mike McCallum. But this one's not over yet by a long way, I don't think. Unless, of course, Kalambay does connect with some more scorching punches like he did in the last round. Got a good variety of punch as well, has Kalambay. And only one British fighter has won a European title in Italy, and that was Pat Clinton. He beat Salvatore Fanni. Many have tried, most have failed because of the Italian bias to their own fighters. It does exist in England, of course. They're not the only ones, but I think the Italians stand out. Nice uppercut there from Ashton. That's Kalambay's wife ringside. So far, a good performance from John Ashton, and a right to the ribs there. He says he slipped. He's getting a standing count. The eye looking worse by the second. Doesn't augur well for Ashton's chances here. John looking a bit disorganised now. Kalambay starts to put his punches together. Good whipping body punches there from Kalambay. Well, nice right to the head from Kalambay. That one hurt. Ashton hangs on his bike. Oh, and a good shot there from Kalambay. Last half minute of round 6. And this was always going to be a monumental task for John Ashton. He's handled himself well, but the last couple of rounds, this one included, have been a bit rough for him. As Kalambay once again slots in that right to the head, so the end of the 6th. We'll take a short break and be right back.
2, 1, and 0.
Eurosport.
In his corner, as we were taking that break, Sumbu Kalambay retains his European Middleweight Championship. Well, Mike Shinfield, Ian Alcock, not at all happy with that, and neither am I. OK, there's damage to John Ashton's left eye, but there's also a very nasty cut above Kalambay's right eye, and yes, he was getting on top. There you can see the cut, but the referee has decided that maybe John Ashton is a bit too lively and got him out of there while he had the chance. That's a real tragedy. Jason Shinfield there with his back to us on the right, son of Mike Shinfield, the manager of John Ashton. What a terrible shame. Well, you can see the eyes almost shut, but I've seen worse. And as you can see from the caption, we're live from Pesaro in Italy. The almost local man, Sumbu Kalambay there, retains his European title with a stoppage at the end of round 6. In fact, in the interval. And I think that one was rather unsatisfactory. Replay from round 6. Ashton took a standing 8 count from really a glancing blow to the hip that caught him on the ribs, but he almost slipped over as well. Oh, nice to hear that. Funny enough, that's the first round knockdown. Cracking right over the top from Ashton. Kalambay on his knees. I had them dead level after 4 rounds, with Kalambay taking the 5th and the 6th. And Ashton was really up against it here tonight, not only against the superb champion in Sumbu Kalambay, but also up against the Italians. So that's a shame for John Ashton, but he's got Harold Graham to look forward to on the 1st of October for the British Championship. And, well, he fancies he could do well against Harold Graham. We'll have to wait and see. But Kalambay there, a very happy man, as the journalists get to grips with their typewriters and word processors to get this in the press.
To leave the boxing in 10.
Anyway, that's the end of our programme this evening. We'll be back next week with more international boxing.
3, 2.
Eurosport.